Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Saradhanath Swami Namane Namaha. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Saradhanath Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi. Nirvisheshwanyavadi Paschadeshta. Saraswati Vachalam. Pangum Langate Grim Yaktapata Mahamande Shri Gurum Dintaranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om. Hare Krishna. Very happy Dasera festivities to all of you. All glories to Sri Ramchandra Bhagavan. There is the auspicious day, which is also known as Vijayadashmi. Is the 10th day on which Vijay was achieved by Lord Ramchandra over Ravana. Very, very auspicious day. So thank you all for joining. So I just want to check, anyone remembers the verse number where we stopped? I have some verse marked. I just want to make sure.
Prabhuji, we completed till 278.
Yeah, okay, correct. So I have the same. Yeah, okay, good. So I have the same understanding. Thank you. So we are discussing the Lord's travels across South India. We discussed how the Lord visited so many places, and the last interesting visit that the Lord had was at the Udupi in South India, where he visited the Mutt, Udupi Mutt, and there he had this interesting conversation with the Tattvavadis. So wherever the Lord would go, he would always, with great humility, transform the hearts. Either he would induce non-devotees to become devotees, or devotees of other devatas to become Vaishnavas, or those who are Vaishnavas, if you would see that there is some pride in them, in a very clever way, very humble way, but a very smart way, he would somehow crush the pride. So this is the nature of a genuine preacher. A genuine preacher's always key interest is to transform the hearts of those he's preaching. And he sees whatever way he can best inspire those he is speaking to. And the Lord was always very, very humble in the way he approached anyone, or he spoke with anyone. Even when he defeated somebody, he defeated with so much love that the other person could not feel that he was humiliated or belittled, unless in a particular situation that was, specifically needed. Because sometimes crushing of pride requires some amount of that kind of dosage. So anyway, the Lord continued his travel after he crushed the pride of the Tattvavadis. So it is said after he met the Tattvavadis, the Lord traveled to other places, holy places. He went to Falgu Tirtha. Then he went to a place known as Tritakupa, where there was a beautiful deity, which is known as the Vishala deity. Then he went to a Panchapsara Tirtha. And then the Lord, he went he went all the way to the southern tip. Now his journey is going upwards, but towards the western coast of India. The Lord is coming up, up, up. He reached Gokarna. Gokarna is a famous holy place. When he was there, he visited the temple of Lord Shiva. And having visited Gokarna, the next stop of Lord Chaitanya was a place known as Dvaipayani. So anyone knows where this Dvaipayani is? Anyone of you been to Dvaipayani? So, by the way, this place Dvaipayani, even though it is not mentioned here, this place Dvaipayani is the current day Mumbai, Bombay. So, in ancient times, Mumbai was manifested as around 7 islands because it was multiple islands. Of course, now many of these islands have come together and formed a larger mass. So, we don't see the islands so distinctly because a lot of reclamation has been done. But in ancient times, this this set of islands used to be what is today what is today known as Mumbai was known as Dvaipayani. So it is said Lord Chaitanya also visited Mumbai. Very interesting. But nothing much is mentioned about what he did there, but the reference is here. So after visiting Dvaipayani, yes, what Amit said is also true. Uh, uh, Prabhupada in the purport speaks about his visit to to the Thane area also. The what Prabhupada says is the area of uh, what is mentioned here as Surparaka Tirtha. Surparaka Tirtha is what Prabhupada says is the area of Sopara, the Thane district. It may well be the place which is nowadays known as Nala Sopara, or somewhere around that area. So in those days it was known as Surparaka Tirtha. So the Lord has sanctified Mumbai, Thane. I think the Lord, by visiting all over India, created the good fortune for all living entities. It is said when the Lord further continued his travels, he visited the very special place, the town of Kolhapur. In Kolhapur is the very special deity of Mahalakshmi. He took darshan of Mahalakshmi. It is said he danced in front of Mahalakshmi deity. Uh, Visited the temple of Kshira Bhagavati. Then there is another temple he visited known as the Langa Ganesha. So like that he visited various places. Then finally, not, not quite finally, but then he came to another very, very important destination. And that is the town of Pandharpur. Rebol, Vitthal Deva ki jai. So Pandharpur is arguably one of the most holy places in the state of Maharashtra. So Lord Chaitanya was so happy on the bank of the Chandrabhaga, also known as the Bhima River. So he went and took darshan of Lord Vitthal. He said he danced and chanted like he would do in all places. So as he was chanting and dancing, and as was typical, some saintly Brahmana would see him and being attracted by him, they would invite him for lunch. So Brahmana approached Lord Chaitanya in Pandharpur also and invited him to his home for. So Lord Chaitanya obliged. He went to this Brahmana's home and he had his lunch. So after the lunch finished, the host, the Brahmana, somehow the news reached and it was conveyed to Lord Chaitanya that another very great sannyasi by the name of Sri Rangapuri was present in Pandharpur, in that village of Pandharpur, in the home of a Brahmana. And who's the Sri Rangapuri? The Sri Rangapuri was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri, which means a god brother of the Guru of Lord Chaitanya, or the god brother of Ishwarapuri. If you recollect a little earlier during the travels of Lord Chaitanya had met another great saintly person by the name of Paramananda Puri. Do you recollect? So Paramananda Puri, when he met him, he told him, you're going to take darshan of Jagannath, and then you're going to towards the ocean. Then he said, you come back and you meet me in Jagannath Puri and stay with me. So this is another very great soul, Sri Rangapuri, who's also a very close eternal associate of Lord Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya, when he heard the news about the presence of Sri Rangapuri there, of all the Rangapur, so it's, that he happens to be present. So when the news came to Lord Chaitanya decided that I must visit Sri Rangapuri and take his darshan. Of course, he's elder, he's the godbrother of his guru. So, he did not wait for Sri Rangapuri to come to him. He himself got up and went to the home of that Brahmana in whose home Sri Rangapuri was residing. So he went there and he saw that Sri Rangapuri was sitting there, and Lord Chaitanya immediately offered him full dandavat obeisances, falling flat on the ground. Lord Chaitanya was expert in following proper Vaishnava etiquette. So if one sees one's guru or the godbrother of the godbrother of the guru should also be treated as like the guru, given the respect like the guru. Just like we respect our father, we respect our uncles, like father. So he offered his obeisances, and Lord Chaitanya, out of ecstatic love, was, displaying symptoms of tears, ecstatic jubilation, trembling, perspiration. And Sri Rangapuri noticed the sannyasi offering obeisances and, displaying such ecstatic symptoms. So Sri Rangapuri was amazed. He did not know who it was. But Sri Rangapuri told Lord Chaitanya, "Oh, Your Holiness, please get up. What are you doing?" Because he could see that he's a sannyasi. By seeing your ecstatic symptoms, it seems, because these ecstatic symptoms are so uncommon of love of Godhead, that must be you have some connection with Madhavendra Puri, who's my guru. Because this kind of deep love in this world is present only through the via medium of Madhavendra Puri. So he could understand. Are you somehow connected to Madhavendra Puri? Because without that connection from him, this kind of loving emotion that you're displaying, which I can see in your personality, it is not possible. He said like this, and then he picked up Lord Chaitanya and he embraced, Sri Rangapuri embraced him. And both of them started crying tears of ecstasy. They haven't even been introduced to each other yet. But just, see, this is how one pure devotee recognizes another pure devotee. He was able to immediately understand that this person has the kind of love for Radha and Krishna that my guru has taught me. So as we become more advanced in Krishna consciousness, we are able to easily understand and assess from various symptoms what is the kind of consciousness and elevation that another person may have. So both of them were crying tears for quite some time. And then both of them came to their external senses. And after that, Lord Chaitanya explains to Sri Rangapuri that actually, oh Maharaj, I am just a disciple of Ishwarapuri, your godbrother. So yes, you are right. You identified correctly that I am indeed fortunate to be also connected to Sripad Madhavendra Puri, who's your spiritual master. So obviously Sri Rangapuri was so happy to find that out. And then finally both of them sat down together and they started talking and discussing. It is said 5 to 7 days they were continuously discussing Krishna Katha. So if you remember, wherever Lord Chaitanya would meet any extraordinary devotee, many days, what he would do? just sit down with that person, whether it's Ramanand Rai or any other devotees. He would spend days and days and days in the association of these exalted associates discussing Harikatha. So this is the matter of greatest happiness for elevated devotees to get together and discuss Harikatha. Machchitta madagada prana bodhayantascha parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. That my pure devotees take great pleasure in speaking about me, discussing about me, enlightening one another about me. And they find great happiness and pleasure. So 5 to 7 days, practically continuously, Lord Chaitanya visited the home of the Brahmana. It seems like he was staying there only with Sri Rangapuri. And they continued. Then after 5, 7 days, out of curiosity, Sri Rangapuri asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by the way, you didn't tell me where were you born? What is your birthplace? And Lord Chaitanya said, oh, I was born in the place of Navadvip Dham. Oh, Navadvip Dham, Sri Rangapuri said. I know Navadvip Dham long back. I had gone to Navadvip Dham with my spiritual master Madhavendra Puri. And then he started recollecting various episodes. And suddenly he mentions, I remember one particular place that we had visited when we were in Navadvip Dham with Madhavendra Puri. My spiritual master, Madhavendra Puri, and myself, we had visited the house of Jagannath Mishra, a very pious and wonderful Brahman, and where we had lunch at the house of Jagannath Mishra. Oh, that place and that home was so wonderful. It is so nice. It has left such a deep impression on my heart. And not just the wonderful character of Jagannath Mishra, but he also the wonderful character of his wife, Sachi Mata. And I particularly remember the lunch that she had made, such divine taste in that lunch. I still remember, Sri Rangapuri tells Lord Chaitanya, that in the lunch at Jagannath Mishra's house, there was a exquisite curry made of banana flowers, which I had eaten. So such distinct memory he had. He specifically remembered what item he had eaten in his lunch. And he was glorifying Jagannath Mishra. He was glorifying the chastity and devotion of Mother Sachi. And she was saying, oh, that lady is practically like the mother of the universe. And she was such a great cook. And she is so motherly. She's like the mother of the. She is so affectionate when she serves the sannyasis. It is said in the Shastras that the Grahasthas should serve the sannyasis as if the sannyasis are like their children. Because the sannyasis are dependent, from an external perspective, dependent on the food which is given in charity by the Grahasthas. So she was so affectionate that she would be very affectionate to the sannyasis. She would regularly invite and feed them with so much love. And I also remember of that illustrious family, that one of the sons of that illustrious family, he became a sannyasi by the name of Shankararanya. And he attained perfection in this holy place of Pandharpur. So, Lord Chaitanya has not yet revealed his identity. Actually, he's speaking about Lord Chaitanya's family. Sri Rangapuri is not aware that who Lord Chaitanya is. So, when explained like this, Lord Chaitanya very humbly reveals. He tells Sri Rangapuri that, oh Maharaj, in my Purvashram, which means before I became a sannyasi, in my Purva ashram, Shankararanya, whom you just mentioned about, he was my brother. And Jagannath Mishra is my father. So Srirangapuri is so delighted to hear that, the most distinct memory he had of Siddham is for the family of Lord Chaitanya. So the important point in this conversation is that if you remember when Lord Chaitanya left home on the pretext of sannyas, and then he went to the South India tour. If you remember, the reason that he had given to Nityananda Prabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and all the other associates was that my brother has taken sannyas and he went somewhere. I have no idea where he has gone. So I'm going to travel all over India and try to look for him, to find out where is he and hopefully meet him. Of course, the Lord knows what has happened, but externally the Lord poses like that. So in this conversation, the Lord's external purpose of touring all the holy places gets fulfilled, because through this conversation, through the mouth of Srirangapuri, it gets revealed that Vishwaroop, the elder brother of Lord Chaitanya, who had taken sannyas. In fact, they didn't even know what was his name after sannyas, because he just left home. They knew he had renounced the world, but they didn't know anything. From where he took sannyas, where did he go? Is he still alive or what? So now it got confirmed. One, he took sannyasa Shankararanya. Second, he came to Pandharpur. He stayed there and he gave up his external form and went back home, back to Godhead, in the holy place of Pandharpur. Vishwarupa. So this is very, very special. So even though it is not mentioned here in Chaitanya Charitamrita in this part, it is said that Vishwarup, as an elder brother of Lord Chaitanya, is also an expansion of Lord Balram. And later, Lord Nityananda, when he came touring also the holy places, this was much earlier. When Lord Nityananda came and visited Pandharpur, it is Vishwarupa, who is also an expansion of Balram, merged into Nityananda Prabhu. So that is also something which the devotees explain. So in this way, at the holy place of Pandharpur, the Lord's mission also got fulfilled. He had darshan and he also met Srirangapuri, plus got to know about what happened to his dear brother. Then after meeting Srirangapuri, Lord Chaitanya continued with his travels and he started traveling towards the holy place of Dwaraka Dham. Srirangapuri traveled towards Dwarka Dham. So Lord Chaitanya continued to stay for some days with the Brahmana at Pandharpur. Chaitanya Charitamrita says for 4 more days. And he would regularly take his bath in the Bhima river, the Chandrabhaga river. He would visit the temple of Lord Vitthal. And he went, after that, the Lord continued his travel along the bank of the Krishna Venava river. Like I said, he visited many, many holy places and temples of various deities, including various devatas. So as he was traveling along these places, there was a village where there was a community of Brahmanas who were very great devotees. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says they were pure devotees. And this group of pure devotee Brahmanas, they would especially study a very, very special book. This very special book is known as Krishna Karnamrita. This Krishna Karnamrita is composed by another very great devotee of Krishna, by the name of Bilva Mangala Thakur. I do not know how many of you have heard about the name of Bilva Mangal Thakur, but it's a very, very beautiful, very interesting story. We don't have time to discuss. Someday we will discuss about his life. Very interesting story. How he was born in a Brahmana family, then he becomes degraded, then eventually he becomes actually practically sinful, but then eventually how he gets attracted to Krishna, becomes a great devotee. A very, very beautiful pastime. So Vilumangal Thakur is a great devotee of Krishna, a great lover of Vrindavan. And he has written this very beautiful book of Krishna Katha known as Krishna Karanamrita. So Lord Chaitanya happened to hear this literature of Krishna Karanamrita, that particular place where these Brahmanas were residing. So he was so happy. See, usually Lord Chaitanya would not get too excited about most books and scriptures. Because most books, other than the Srimad Bhagavat, most of the other literatures were not particularly attractive to Lord Chaitanya because they did not explain pure devotional service in such a clear way. So there were very, very few works which actually attracted Lord Chaitanya's attention. Like we discussed, I think in the last class, if I'm not wrong, how Lord Chaitanya was attracted to the Brahma Samhita prayers in Adi Keshava temple. He had a copy of them made. So in certain places, he would find an extraordinary literature and take a copy. Here also, he got this particular book copied, the Krishna Karanamrita. So this also book was very, very dear Lord Chaitanya. So there were some works which were very dear. The Gita Govinda by Jayadev Goswami. The another book by Kavi Karnapur was also very, very dear. And then this Krishna Karanamrita by Bilva Mangal Thakur. So these literatures were very dear to Lord Chaitanya because they were composed of very sweet, confidential pastimes for Radha and Krishna. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, there is no comparison to Krishna Karanamrita within the three worlds. By studying this Krishna Karanamrita, one becomes very elevated in the knowledge of pure devotional service. One can understand the beauty and the sweet taste of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. One studies Krishna Karanamrita. So these two books, the Brahma Samhita, which the Lord had copied, and Krishna Karanamrita, for Lord Chaitanya, they were his treasures. They were the two precious things he was carrying. Why was he carrying? Because he wanted to share that treasure with all the other devotees when he goes back to Jagannath Puri. He was not just carrying it for himself. Of course, he wanted to relish it. So that, it was like such jewels I have found. I want to share them with the devotee community. So Lord Chaitanya continues his travels. From that place, he comes to the bank of the river Tapi. From there, he goes to a place known as Mahishmatipura. And there are many, many holy places, especially the ones which are located along the banks of the Narmada river. Then it is said the Lord visited a place known as Dhanush Tirtha. He took his bath in a river known as Nirvindhya. Then he came to another very interesting region, the Rishyamukha mountain. And then he went to Dandakaranya. So these are places which are related to Lord Ramachandra's pastime. So something very interesting happened here. So within the Dandakaranya forest, Lord Chaitanya visited a place known as the Saptatala. The Saptatala place is very, very famous because it had 7 giant tal trees. Very, very old, very bulky and very high. Now, which are these tala trees? It says these tala trees have been there at that place since the time of Ramayana. It is said Lord Ramchandra, when he came there, when he wanted to prove his power to Sugriva and others, he took an arrow and he shot and it went through all the 7 trees, tala trees. It pierced through all the trees. And the arrow came back to Ramchandra, and then they were confident, oh yes, You are capable of killing Vali. You are indeed very powerful. So the trees continued to be there. They had the good fortune of being pierced by the arrow of Ramachandra. But they were waiting for Chaitanya Chandra to come again. For millions of years, those trees were standing there. So when Lord Chaitanya, who's not different from Lord Ramchandra, he came there. He personally came and embraced each one of those 7 tala trees. And when he embraced those tala trees, it is said that they disappeared from there. Just literally disappeared. They have been there for thousands of years. Until 500 years ago, they were there. They just disappeared. So the Lord delivered those trees and they immediately were elevated to the spiritual world of Vaikuntha. And there were many people also around there because that's such a famous place. People who were around witnessed this particular episode. They were so amazed to see how the trees had been delivered by Lord Chaitanya. And they started speaking amongst themselves, suspecting that this person who is appearing as a sannyasi must be an incarnation of Ramchandra. He seems to have some very special power and only he can send these 7 palm trees to the spiritual world. After this wonderful episode, the Lord came to a lake, a famous lake again associated with Lord Ramchandra's pastime known as the Pampa Sarovar. Took his bath there. Then he went to Panchavati, Nasik. So the Lord visited Nasik. There he saw the deity of Trambakeshwara, which is situated close to Nasik city, of Lord Shiva. He went to Brahmagiri. Brahmagiri is the mountain very close to Trambakeshwar, which is said to be the origin of the river, the source of the river Godavari. So the Lord spent some time around Nasik area also. So after visiting all these places, the Lord went to another holy place known as Sapta Godavari. And then finally the Lord returned to Vidyanagar. Does the name Vidyanagar ring a bell? Anybody remembers what Vidyanagar is related to? Anyone? Have we discussed about Vidyanagar anytime?
Prabhuji did the pastime of Sakshi Gopal, was it in Vidyanagar?
No. So Vidyanagar is the place where Lord Chaitanya met Ramananda Rai on the bank of Godavari. So Lord Chaitanya, after his travel further south, after completing all his south journey, he goes back to Vidyanagar and he meets Ramananda Rai. Ramananda Rai was so excited and blissful on seeing Lord Chaitanya again. He did full dandavats to Lord Chaitanya and fell at his lotus feet, and the Lord was also so happy. He immediately raised him up and he embraced him. Again, both of them began to cry as they were embracing each other out of ecstatic love. After some time of having immersed in that love and bathing each other with their tears, they both came down to their external senses. Again, they sat down. And what they did? Started discussing Krishna Katha. So Lord Chaitanya explained to Ramananda Rai, what all places he had traveled and, uh, what he had been doing for the last whatever months that he had been traveling over the south. He was also very happy. Lord Chaitanya was also very happy to share the 2 books, the Krishna Karnamrit by Vilu Mangal Thakur and the Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma. He gave those books to Ramananda Rai. And Lord Chaitanya said, Ramananda Rai, you remember you explained so much about pure devotional service to me, which I had not heard anywhere. Whatever you have spoken, it's all supported in these 2 books. You read this Brahma Samhita, you read this Krishna Karnamrut, the conclusions that you spoke about are all mentioned and supported by this book. So Ramananda Rai was also very, very happy. And both of them together discussed the verses from these two books and they relished it. So Ramananda Rai also had a copy made of each of them because Lord Chaitanya wanted to take his copy further. Of course, when Lord Chaitanya came to Vidyanagar, Vidyanagar was a town, not a small village. So the news of Lord Chaitanya's arrival there spread and everybody there uh, came to take darshan of Lord Chaitanya. So when Ramananda Rai saw that such a big crowd had gathered around them, take darshan of Lord Chaitanya, Ramananda Rai took the Lord's permission, he returned to his home. And around noontime, Lord Chaitanya, he got up, gave his darshan and blessings to so many people. He got up to take his lunch. Again in the evening at night, Lord Chaitanya and and Ramananda Rai again met and they continued their discussion of Harikatha. So it is said for another 5 to 7 days again, Lord Chaitanya spent in Vidyanagar with Ramananda Rai. And as that period ended and the Lord was about to leave, Ramananda Rai told Lord Chaitanya, "Oh Lord, last time you had told when you had left from Vidyanagar for your south, you had told me that enough of your job as a governor. Come and join me in Puri, you had told me. So, following your instructions, my Lord, I have already written my resignation letter to the king to seek his permission so that I can be released from the duties so that I can come and join you. And I'm so happy to share with you, O Lord, that the king has already responded and has given me an order that I can come to Jagannath. So I am now busy making arrangements to come and join you in Jagannath. Lord Chaitanya was so happy. He said, yes, this is wonderful news, Ramananda Rai. In fact, I came back to Vidyanagar just to ensure that you are joining me in Jagannath Puri. I want to take you to Puri. Come with me. I am now also on my way back, my South India tour. Now I am going upwards again, back towards Jagannath Puri. Come and join me. I will take you with me to Puri. So Ramananda Rai said, oh Lord, I would love to come with you to Puri, but I am a big government official. When I travel, I go with a huge procession. There is a palki, there is horses, elephants, soldiers. All this makes a tumultuous sound. So, I think it will be a bit uncomfortable for you. Myself going in a procession like this and you as a sannyasi walking, this whole thing will become uncomfortable. So my request, O Lord, is you please carry on your journey towards Jagannath Puri. I still need another 10 days or so. I will make all the necessary arrangement. I'll wrap up and pack up everything, all my business here in Vidyanagar. And then I will start my journey and come to. So Lord Chaitanya agreed. And then Lord Chaitanya started departing towards Jagannath. So he left Vidyanagar. So from Vidyanagar, it is said when Lord Chaitanya was going back towards Jagannath Puri, from Vidyanagar towards Jagannath Puri, it is said Lord Chaitanya took the same path which he had taken from Puri all the way to Vidyanagar. He visited through same holy places, same villages. And along the way, it is said, all the various devotees and other people whom the Lord had met on his way downwards in his return path also, they were all very, very happy to again get darshan and association of Lord Chaitanya. And again, the Lord was so happy to chant the holy names in all those beautiful places. And the Lord was especially happy to note all those places where he had instructed the residents to chant the holy name, they were all now engaged the chanting of the holy name. So the Lord was very happy that his preaching had become successful. It said eventually the Lord reached the place of Alarnath. You remember, Alarnath is the place from where the Lord took leave of the Vaishnavas and he started his trip. So when he reached Alarnath, the Lord, who was assisted by this Brahmana, Krishnadas, we discussed, he asked Krishnadas that I am waiting in Alarnath, you please go ahead to Jagannath Puri and inform Lord Nityananda, Swarup Damodar and Damodar Pandit and the other associates that I have come, and ask them to come and meet me here. So Nityanand Prabhu, when he came to know about the news from Krishnadas that Lord Chaitanya had arrived and he is waiting at Alarnath, instantly he got up and he rushed, impatient with great ecstasy, it is said. He was so eager to see Lord Chaitanya. So Nityananda Ram, Jagadananda, Damodar Pandit, Kunda, they all got the news. They were all ecstatic and jumping and dancing. They went to meet Lord Chaitanya. Gopinath Acharya, the brother-in-law of Sarvam Bhattacharya, he was also happy. He also joined them along the way. And they all went and met Lord Chaitanya. After a long time, this was almost 2 years later. And they were all so happy to see each other and meet each other. Lord was so happy to see them, and they were so all also happy. They were all crying tears of ecstasy. Sarvam Bhattacharya also, he went to see the Lord, and the Lord met Sarvam Bhattacharya, it is said, along the beach by the sea. Sarvam Bhattacharya also offered full Dandavat pranams at the Lord's feet, and the Lord was so affectionate to him, he picked him up and embraced him. And Sarvam Bhattacharya also broke into tears because he was also feeling so much separation from Lord Chaitanya for so long. So then Lord Chaitanya, along with all the other devotees, they came from Alarnath, they came all the way to Jagannath Puri. And then Lord Chaitanya was eager first when he comes to Puri, he wanted to take darshan of Lord Jagannath. And again, after a long time, the Lord is seeing Lord Jagannath. So also, Lord Chaitanya was very, very overwhelmed on seeing the deity of Lord Jagannath. It is said he was trembling, perspiring, tears, and jubilation. All these various ecstatic symptoms were manifested on the body of Lord Chaitanya, and in great ecstasy in front of Jagannath, Lord danced and chanted. The servants of Lord Chaitanya, of Jagannath, the pujaris, they brought some Mahaprasad and a garland of Lord Jagannath and offered it to Lord Chaitanya as Jagannath's blessings. And Lord Chaitanya, when he received those prasad items, Lord got pacified. He accepted them with great pleasure. All the pandas and the servants of Lord Jagannath who were there in the temple, they were also very happy to see Lord Chaitanya after 2 years. So they were also very, very blissful. Kashi Mishra, at whose house Lord Chaitanya was staying, he came there finding out the news about Lord Chaitanya's return. He came there, he fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord embraced him. So such wonderful reception the Lord got back with all his close associates. Sarvam Bhattacharya that day insisted that the Lord should come to his home and have lunch. So Lord Chaitanya agreed. And Sarvam Bhattacharya arranged various kinds of special Mahaprasad from Jagannath to be brought to his home so that they can be served Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya had a wonderful feast of Jagannath's Mahaprasad after returning back to Jagannath Puri. And after that, Sarvam Bhattacharya requested Lord Chaitanya, please you rest in my home only. So Lord Chaitanya agreed and he took some rest after the lunch. And Sarvam Bhattacharya took the opportunity to massage the feet of Lord Chaitanya because he had walked so far. So Lord Chaitanya, when he saw Sarvam Bhattacharya massaging his feet, Lord Chaitanya said, Okay, enough, enough. Why don't you go now and take your lunch? Now I've had mine. So then to make him happy, Sarvam Bhattacharya went and had his lunch. But he insisted that Lord Chaitanya should stay in his home and that night also. So Lord Chaitanya, just to make his devotee Sarvam Bhattacharya happy, he continued to stay in the home of Sarvam Bhattacharya uh, for that evening. Huh? In fact, it is said that particular night, neither Lord Chaitanya slept in the house of Sarvam Bhattacharya, nor did all the other associates sleep. Huh? Correct? Why? Not because of mosquitoes problem or something like that. They're all awake because they're all eager, because they had met after 2 years. They're all eager to find out about what had happened. And Lord Chaitanya was narrating about his pilgrimage and what happened and where he went. And the devotees were so eager to hear. And Lord Chaitanya was speaking. Lord Chaitanya told Sarvam Bhattacharya, you asked me to meet Ramanand Rai. I went to so many holy places, but I could not find a devotee as great as Ramanand Rai. So thank you so much. Give me such a wonderful reference. I received so much happiness by discussing Harikatha in the association of Ramananda Rai. So like that, they spent the whole night. So in this way, actually, with this particular episode, the South India trip of Lord Chaitanya comes to a conclusion. The Lord spent roughly 2 years in this trip and finally comes back to Puri. So essentially, summarily, the Lord visits various holy places, reaches across all the places that he visited. He meets some of his very close and confidential associates and re-establishes contact with them. And some of them, like Sri Rangapuri and Paramananda Puri, Ramanand Rai, and a few others, he asked them to join him in Jagannath Puri. And he also achieves the external purpose which he set out to, which was to discover the whereabouts of his brother. So much was achieved. And this particular trip of 2 years, the Lord was on this planet for 48 years, out of which 2 years he spent in this South India tour. So this was one period where the Lord actually extensively traveled across, and he preached also extensively. After this period, the Lord barely traveled outside Jagannath Puri. Not that he didn't at all, but not much. No extensive travels. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is concluding this chapter, and he tells all his readers, said, I am concluding this pilgrimage, but please understand, whatever I have described only very briefly, in a very broad way. I cannot describe everything because the Lord's pastimes are so unlimited and so many things he has performed. I am just touching, like the tip of the iceberg. But, I'm so shameless that because I'm so eager to speak about it, I am going and telling so many things. But actually, whatever I have described is actually very, very small portion. And he gives a blessing to all those who hear this pastime of the Lord's travels in South India. He says, whoever hears of this pilgrimage of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the various holy places of South India, he attains the riches of very deep ecstatic love for Krishna. Rivo, whoever hears. And we don't take these words lightly. He doesn't say it happens immediately as soon as the class ends or next day morning, but guarantee is there. Very deep ecstatic love. And please understand, these are not empty words. These are serious blessings. So please receive them with great gratitude that this blessing has been bestowed on us. Whoever hears of the pilgrimage of Lord Chaitanya to these holy places attains the riches of very deep ecstatic love. Hence, please hear Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, these transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya with faith and conviction. That is important. Shraddha se suno. Give up envy of the Lord and chant the holy name of Hari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Ultimately, in this Kali Yuga, what is there? Ultimately, in this Kali Yuga, we don't find dharma anywhere. Dharma that is established by great pure devotees, the Vaishnava scriptures and the great Vaishnavas, is what is the religion for us. They have distilled the essence of all religion and explained it to us through their lives and through their teachings. So that is what we should all hold on to and make our life perfect. And he concludes by saying that the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are an unlimited ocean. How can I enter into this ocean? I'm just standing on the shore and I'm just touching the water. So again and again, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is emphasizing that nobody can fully understand all that the Lord has done. He's giving just a brief synopsis of some of the events of the Lord's manifest pastimes, very briefly. But he's trying to make us understand that we cannot fully fathom. The Lord has performed millions and millions and millions of pastimes, and other than the drops that we have got, which also is so much is not even known to us. So we must understand how the Lord is so unlimited. The more one hears the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith, analytically studying them, the more one attains the ecstatic riches of love of Godhead. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunath and always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following their footsteps. This is how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami concludes this chapter, which has 365 verses, which we have completed in 3 parts. So that brings us to the conclusion of the 9th chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. Shri Rupa Raghunath Pade Yara Asha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishnadas. Thank you very much. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Yes, Amit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this book, Krishna Karnamrita, is it there in the list of ISKCON books that are typically available in our temples?
No. At least as far as I am aware, no. It's actually quite a exalted book. It's not a book for neophytes. So some of these works are actually quite exalted because they deal with exalted pastimes of Radha and Krishna. I personally haven't read Krishna Karnamrita, nor is it very. So books like Gita Govinda, Krishna Karnamrita, and a few others which Lord Chaitanya would relish, they are very, very esoteric, high-level books, PhD subject matter. Brahma Samhita is one book which is okay for all of us to study, even at our level, because it establishes the various conclusions of bhakti very beautifully, the Siddhantas. It is also very elevated, but it is a good book for all of us to study. But the other books which I mentioned are actually, including Krishna Karnamrita, are very exalted. It is not typically, nor is it published by ISKCON as far as I know. Maybe some devotees may have translated, then I'm not aware. But it is not commonly studied by the general mass of devotees.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very good. So hopefully we pray that one day we'll be elevated enough that we can also relish these literatures. Okay, so thank you very much again. Wishing all of you a very wonderful Dasera day. So along with Dasera, this brings us to the doorsteps of the upcoming Kartik festival, Damodar Mass. So Damodar Mass will begin also very shortly, in a few days' time. So like always, we'll also request you to all get geared up to bring your Damodar Murti, your Damodar pictures out, whatever you need to do to set up your altar of Damodar, your ghee wicks for offering, whatever way you do or whatever way you can. Yourself along with your family, offer lamps regularly, sing the Damodar Ashtak, and encourage everyone can reach out to friends, family, colleagues, neighbors in your society, housing society, wherever, in whatever way we can spread the glories of Lord Damodara. And in that way, we can also get very, very special blessings. So this is a gentle reminder to everyone to get geared up. And as always, of course, we'll request you to keep count of the lamp offerings that you do, either yourself or if you engage others with offerings. So we can offer it as a pleasure for Srila Prabhupada. And we can reach out to so many people in this. So thank you very much. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Samavik Gauram. So I will see you all on Saturday evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Thank you, Babuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu.